Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of Growing the Game. Whenever we sit to discuss African basketball, nothing except African basketball. We digest, dive into all African countries and know what is happening over there. And always with me, I have Annalisa, who is my co-host. Welcome, say, how are you doing?
Evening, Kwaku. Good. How are you doing, man? Always great to be co-hosting with you. Hope everything is good in Accra, Ghana.
Yeah. I'm just, as I said the last time, I'm just enjoying my time back home in Ghana, trying to fit into the system as well. So yeah, we're taking baby steps, but we'll get there.
That's good. That's good, man. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah. So, today is going to be something different. So, we're going to look at exciting topics. But before we dive into the main discussion for today, let's take some hot topics which over the weekend happened across the continent. And some of the news is Namuwongo Blazers retaining their title of the Uganda League. They won it back to back. We're going to see them at the BL, road to BL once again. CNSS ladies also won the LIPROBAKIN League in Congo alongside Onatra, who has also won it back to
Yeah.
back, defeating Show Sports, who went all defeated in the regular season but fell short in the finals of the playoffs to Onatra. And also, when we look at Liberia, we see NPA Pythons, who had a 1 year suspension last year for delaying the playoff stage. They had a 1 year ban, but getting into the season, they lifted the ban and they went ahead to win the Liberian Basketball League this year by defeating LPRC, who were the defending champions of that. We've got a new champion coming from Liberia as well. And all these teams are going to actually represent on the continental stage to see if they can make it to the BAL. What do you think about what stage?
Yeah. For Ugandan basketball, I mean, it's a great thing that Namuwongo have retained the title. It's showing that the dominance of City Oilers is being broken, and also the investment that the club has made in making sure that they are able to compete is also great, and also being able to also in the process attract a hydration sponsor like Mountain Dew shows that yes, as a
Mhm.
brand they are growing, as a club they are also growing. Now it's for them to show up at the road to BAL, show what they are about and what lessons they have learned from the last time they appeared, which was last year. So it will be interesting to see also in terms of you saw a guy like Frank Nyembo from the DRC. He showed up for them big time, MVP of the season.
Yeah.
And yes, we will be seeing him also in the World Cup qualifiers for his country. So it shows that it's a league that's able to really attract some very good players to play in it. And it's also a competitive league as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well said. And before I even forget, APR also has won the Rwanda Basketball League 4 times in a row. I think they were very superior, and we all knew they were going to win it because they swept the playoffs, beating Patriots 4-0 in the series. So yeah, what do you make of CNSS and Show Sports also losing the finals to Onatra?
CNSS has dominated the women's league in the DRC, so no surprise there. Players like Katia Mbelu, who've been there, been part of winning the title, their dominant run, I mean. So it will be also great to see CNSS, but you in the WBL, but you would like to see them also improve in their performances on the continent. It's no good you are dominating at home but not performing at the continent. In the DRC, the men's champions, I'm surprised. I guess Shore Sport is one of the popular clubs there, but we don't hear much from them, much from the DRC until it's playoffs time. You don't, well,
Yeah.
let me say I haven't really followed it well, so I'm not familiar with the champions. Shore Sport is one of the teams I'm familiar with. But, like you said, they've had a dominant run only to falter in the final. So it shows that you can't take anything for granted in these types of in league format play or playoff format. Anything can happen, and everybody has to bring their A game. So it will be, I guess, it will be great to see what the champions of DRC can do on the continent as well.
Yeah. I think for the DRC to the representative at the BAL will be determined when the Coupe du Congo is being played, whereby winners from all the provinces emerge
Okay.
up and play the club championship. So I think the LIPROBAKIN is just for a particular province, as for say. But I think Show Sports
Okay, it's not
actually
a
joined.
league.
Yeah, Show Sports actually joined this league because in their province the league wasn't so effective, so they needed much competition. And
Okay.
the
Oh, okay.
LIPROBAKIN
All
had
right.
all the
Thanks for
competition
correcting me.
inside.
Thanks
So
for correcting me.
yeah. Let's talk about Liberia. Let's go to Liberia, where National Petroleum Authority Pythons, NPA Pythons, defeated the defending champions to claim the title.
I'll let you take this one because I'm not familiar with basketball in that part of the world.
Okay, so as I said earlier, so LPRC were the defending champions, represented at the Road to Ball last year, but unfortunately they couldn't defend their title because National Petroleum Pythons came up and then won the series, I think 3-2, if I'm not mistaken. This same team we're talking about were a team that went to the finals with RPRC last season, but had some issues. So they protested because they claimed the officiating was very bad, so it didn't go their way. And they were banned for 1 year. Heading into this season, we didn't know what happened. The ban was lifted and they were given the eligibility to participate in the league. And fast forward, they came to the finals again. And now they are the champions of the Liberian Basketball League. So I don't know how the rules work in Liberia. I don't know what happened that the ban was lifted, but I think it's part of the system whereby we see decisions being overturned overnight. So we can't fault the federation for unless we get deeper
Yeah.
details here. We've seen it across most of the continents. Even in Congo, we even saw whereby players were given bans and all of a sudden the bans were just lifted and
They're back. Yeah.
yeah, they are back. So I think it's something that happens along the line. So congratulations to National Petroleum Authority Pythons. Let's move quick to Rwanda, whereby we saw another dominance. Coach Maya and his boys have done it again, winning it 4 times in a row. What do you think of APR's dominance in Rwanda?
It's a bit, well, congratulations to APR. I mean, they flex big financial muscle, so they're able to bring some of the best players. We saw with the BAL MVP coming through.
Rwanda. Yeah.
What's his name again? His name has escaped me now. The
Craig Randall.
American
Craig Randall.
Craig Randall, yes, Craig Randall the third.
The second.
Craig Randall, yes, the second, yes, coming through, showing up for them in the playoffs, and being a leading scorer for the team, I believe, and also Tefal Leonard Jr. coming through as well to help APR's cause to defend their title. So yeah, man. While a team like Patriots, they went the conservative route and, invested in some local talent and, making sure that they got guys like Chinka Garba and who else? Damarai Gray. Yeah.
Damarai, we've got
So,
Jeff Stubbs as
yes.
well, and Noel Obada also came in along the line.
Yeah. So, yeah. They, like I said, they had gone the conservative route, but usually teams like APR, because of their stature, they will always prevail over. Most of the time, the big teams will always prevail over the smaller team because of the financial muscle that they flex. So, I mean, you get guys. We've seen guys like Tefal Leonard from last season's BAL and even in this season's BAL. Sadly, he got injured along the way, but yeah, he performed a great performer, great scorer, inside, outside, and then Craig Randall, brilliant shooter, and also again we said the BAL MVP, helping the cause of APR. So yeah, man. One thing we can say is a big question mark: will APR be back for next year's BAL? Given, yes, we saw the politics that took place before the start of the BAL, where APR were not allowed to compete because of sanctions on the Rwandan military. So it's a big question mark if we will see them again next year.
Yeah, that's also a question I was asking. Are we going to see them? Is that lift or sanction going to be uplifted? but like we can never tell. So we wait to see what will happen. And one thing, still in Rwanda, one thing, there is this content creator, popular content creator. Shout out to Eddie, who is doing great work when it comes to content around the Rwanda League. He made of a statement whereby I think it should be implemented, whereby salary cap should be imposed on teams or introduced into the league, whereby teams will have a cut-off wage. It has become one-sided. Even though most of the league across the continent are one-sided. When you look at Angola, it's one-sided. When you look at Okay, Nigeria is a bit balanced. Uganda has been changed a bit because we saw dominance from City OLS all along. Now, Namuwongo Blazers have come into existence to change things. Egypt is balanced as well. Mozambique is balanced as well. So leagues are taking that steps to balance their league and balance the team sheets as well. So I think Eddie's comments he made he proves a vital point about that, whereby a salary cap should be introduced because teams can't keep up because you could see that APR makes most of the signings, bigger names all along, and they have a stacked team from the front court to the back court. As you mentioned, they've got Tifal Leonard, Greg Randall, they've got Mamoudou Diag from Senegal as well. So this is a problem. This is a problem because the teams can't keep up to the competition of APL. So I think that a salary wage should be introduced to regulate the league and how the performance of the league should go as well. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, yes, I think for me, yes, it would be good, but it also goes with where the league is and what the league's objectives are. I mean, Rwanda probably given how do you say how they need it for they probably need all the foreign players that can come into the league, quality foreign players at that, so that they can help improve the standard of the game in the country. If you have seen the national team and how it performed in the windows of the World Cup qualifiers, going 0-6, you can see that, that is really needed. Grassroots proper, they do have the grassroots development, but the quality of the domestic player probably isn't where it should be. So I think right now the influx of or the foreign players that are coming through into the team and the amount of investment that is being made to make sure that they have a quality league is good for the time being, and hopefully at some point does benefit the national team for in terms of improving of the local players in Rwanda,
Well said.
so
Well
that
said. And
they learn. Yes.
now you can finish your submission.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I would like to wish Coach Maya and his boys a big congratulations for retaining the title, and
Yeah.
we hope to see them on the BL stage once again. This time it's not going to be RSSB Tigers / APR again. So we want to see APR represent. So yeah, let's focus. Whereby we saw young talents or young prospects take on the continental stage to fight and represent their countries. Whereby Mali won the girls division and Cote d'Ivoire on home ground. The boys won as well. What do you make of the whole tournament, and what's your assessments? What do you think went wrong, and what do you think was okay?
Well, overall, it was an impressive tournament. I think maybe much better than what we saw here in South Africa. Everything went smoothly. Well, I wasn't privy to what was going on the ground in Cote d'Ivoire, but it looked good
Hmm.
from an outsider looking in's perspective. I was very impressed. Well, let me say, I think in terms of the quality of basketball, maybe when you compare it to the Asian basketball that I was recently I watched on Sunday, the final, like you'd like to see a more crisp style of play, proper execution of the fundamentals. I think here in Africa, we rely a lot on physicality, of course, and
Yeah.
very, very little fundamentals. There's very little fundamentals in our game, let me say. Whereas I was watching the Asian under 18 basketball final between China and Australia. Both teams who you could see they played a flowing game of basketball. You could see
Hmm.
pick and rolls, spacing, for guys to get the threes. Whereas in Africa, there's just a quick pace. It's a
Yeah.
fast paced game, physical game. You don't see that the fundamentals basically. And
think I was it Cote d'Ivoire and it wasn't Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire and is it Cameroon? No, Cameroon
Senegal,
plays third.
correct. Senegal, sorry.
Senegal, yeah.
Yes, yes. Senegal, when they go to the World Championships in the thing, how those how they perform, because they also, I don't know what you saw, but they are the quality of point guards as well. You have to raise a question mark about that. Cote d'Ivoire did have good
Mm,
point guards, that they could defer to, but some of the teams that you saw, the African point guards at this current crop of African point guards is not that great as if from what I saw in that tournament. But also, sorry if I'm rambling, but a guy like Stefan Konate, congratulations to him. It's a tournament.
mm,
As a senior, he's been in two finals, I think, never won it. But as a coach of this under 18 team, he's done well to win it. Also roping in coach Miguel Ramos, who's a senior team coach at with the Elephants, and he also coached the under 18s in 2024. He came in for that kind of with continuity. Also having a guy like Guy Eddie Landry in the team, also who was a teammate of Konate, playing in those two finals that Cote d'Ivoire had appeared in. They were both teammates. I mean, yes, as I said, they were teammates and played together in World Cups and also Afro Basket finals. So you could see there was a strong technical team in terms of, guys who had played the game and reinvesting
mm.
in Cote d'Ivoire. And yeah, and you are not surprised that, they eventually won the game. They won the tournament. And on the women's side, yes, no surprises, I guess, when you look at it. Mali retaining the title, a repeat of the 2024 final between them and Nigeria. So, Mali, yes, of course, proving again that they have a very strong program, and also continuity with coach Diakite Sori, who's won the last three, I think, championships with the women's team. So they are doing something right in that part of the world, in Mali. And kudos to them. Hopefully they don't miss the world championships like they did the previous year.
Yeah, yeah, good assessment on that. And I actually agree with whatever you said. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Stefan Konate, who has done incredibly well throughout his coaching career now. He's dominating in Ivory Coast and he's showing it on the continental stage as well, even though he had a bad spell at the BL. But kudos to him as well. And kudos to the Federation, Ivory Coast Federation, for keeping a good structure together. When it comes to the coaching staff, if you've seen that they've been consistent with their structures over there as well. They don't bring in they just don't bring in any coach to fuse into the team. They work with proven coaches who have shown that we could be at this stage and give you the results. So I think they are doing that perfectly well and kept this crop of young guys also from the U16 level and bringing them to the U18 level it's very great. And we saw the results, perfectly good results. They fought till the end of the competition. It's unfortunate we couldn't see Nigerians' dominance because of this age fraud and stuff. So it's unfortunate because I saw Nigeria to be one of the good contenders to fight for this competition. Yeah. Mali, I'll say Mali didn't live up to expectation as we all expected because we all expecting Mali to be at that level because we know what they are capable of. We've seen Mali dominate this past year, so it's unfortunate they couldn't get to that level this year. But still, they are keeping that good project, which is very good, bringing up these boys, grooming them to be these leaders we want them to be in the future. He's made mention of the point guard issues we have in Africa, and I think this isn't just a country thing; it's a whole continental thing, whereby we know that Africa has less point guards. We main focus on the point, the bigs, the power forwards, and other places, but I think less focus has been given to point guards. So we have limited point guards when it comes to the African continent, and that's a big issue we should be worried about in the near future. Moving to the ladies side as well, a good competition over there, as you said, repeat of Nigeria and Mali. We all know what Mali is capable of doing. They've kept these young girls, kept them. It's a structure, you know. Every year we see these girls transition from level to level to level to level, and this is no difference. One good win for them. Unfortunately, Nigeria couldn't push through. Once again, Mali flexed their muscles on them and show them that we've been here, we've been doing this for long now. So this is our 10th one and we can't let it go. So kudos to Mali on winning their 10th or the 10th AfroBasket's U18 girls women competition. So yeah, I think it was all around. It was an exciting tournament. I was really excited, even though I had to miss from the semifinals because I was on a trip in Togo. So I missed some of the actions, but I couldn't miss on the results. That is very necessary. So yeah, kudos to the champions and good basketball, good hosts. We all know Cote d'Ivoire has been a perfect host when it comes to this continental tournament, where we saw in 2024 where they hosted the Afro Baskets for women's, and yeah, they've shown us that levels. They've shown us that there are levels to it when it comes to hosting tournaments. So congratulations to them.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly shift our energy to the pre-Olympic qualifiers. So we had
Yeah.
two representatives there in the likes of South Sudan who have been making waves when it comes to women basketball as well. Not only the men, but in the women's basketball as well. And also Senegal, which I thought have decreased in recent times. Senegal has been very, very, very abysmal when it comes to the women's basketball of recent years. I don't know what is happening with the federation, but I think this should be a wake-up call for the federation because you can't just focus all your energy when it comes to the women and to the men because they are investing much more in the men, whereby they give little focus to the women. And even besides, we heard there were these scandals that happened, issues with the players and the federation, where players were late to Mexico because they couldn't get flight to report earlier. Some staffs had to leave. Some had to use their own money to buy food for the team. You know, a whole lot. Some couldn't get back to Senegal after the whole tournament. Federation has to send money to them to Mexico via Wave, whereby they knew technically well that Wave doesn't work in Mexico. So this whole drama happening with Senegal, I think, is killing the ladies basketball project as well. We also Sierra Dillard, who said after 2024, AfroBasket said she's giving up on the women's team, but we saw her represent again where the national team JSA to represent because of the pride, the love she has for the country. And unfortunately, they couldn't qualify, same as South Sudan, who had a good start to the competition but later fell along the line. Let me give you the opportunity to just tell us your take or tell us what you feel about this whole pre-qualifying competition.
I think for South Sudan, obviously, yes, they won one game against Brazil. Maybe they would have expected to do a bit better in the next games, but the lack of experience showed this level and that, there's still a lot of growing to do. Maybe, yes, you are also happy that there is continuity with Coach Alberto Antuna. He still has the likes of Maria Teresa Gakdeng, Adut Bulgak, who's been there from the beginning, Rose Matre. So you can only hope for next year's Afrobasket that they return this crop of players. They still have a second chance to qualify for the Olympics if they do well in next year's Afrobasket. So for them, I would say it's a growth thing. There's still a lot of teething to be doing with this South Sudan women's team. It's a remarkable achievement that, they made it to all the way to the semifinals of the Afrobasket, and it's landed them the opportunity of competing in World Cup qualifiers earlier
Yeah.
in March in Wuhan, and then now the pre-Olympic qualifiers. So that level of exposure, builds the experience and also strengthens the team as well for this level of competition. So I think it would be safe to say don't be surprised if you see them do well at next year's Afrobasket, But yeah, don't be surprised if you see them do well at next year's Afrobasket. For Senegal, I think it's from what this program used to be to what it is now, it's very disappointing. I think maybe it's been neglected by the federation, the women's program, that is. And, maybe it's time for them to go back to the drawing board. They have enlisted the services of Coach Sheikh Sa. He's been part of the successes of that program, leading them to World Championships, Afro Basket finals. So he's a man who's very experienced. In terms of developing basketball, drawing out programs. We've seen what he did with Rwanda. Yes, a lot of it maybe was out of his control. Rwanda also has its limitations. But with Senegal, a lot is expected because of past successes. They have the most success wins, Afro-Basket wins. And for it to, for them to have fallen the way they have, even though that they are in the top four of continental competitions, making it to, qualifiers of international global competitions, but still falling short very badly, it's very disappointing. And then you hear what you read on the social media spaces about players' visas not arriving on time, players being left behind when, the tournament has ended. Yeah, there's something very wrong, maybe a lack of respect for the women's game and, women and women players. So really, there's got to be a lot of soul searching, maybe, with when it comes to the what Senegalese women's program.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. My main question is, why do you start a project or a program with all the zeal and energy, making it one of the best in Africa, and later trying to abandon it or make it look very bad? I don't understand. Then it's better you don't even put all that energy into making it look better. So Senegal Federation, the federation needs to step up. They just don't have the men's basketball team. They've got the grassroots program, which they've also abandoned. There's no much investment. Yes, they will say, oh, we did well at the just ended U16 qualifiers, zone two qualifiers, whereby I think the guys, Senegalese men's team qualified, and the women's team also has qualified for the U16. But yes, it's not enough. We've not seen enough from them when it comes to the grassroots division. Yes, we've seen the women proven, we've seen records that yes, these women are very good. But now we can't say same for this Senegalese women's team. They are each and every time their performance is decreasing. The performance dips down, goes down, and you can't even know who to fault at this point. You can't even blame the players at this point of time. There is a lot going on in the federation whereby even we've seen the federation even attacking some of their content creators or people who promote basketball in the country. You see, we were here whereby they brought a rule whereby content creators can't even take content from their league anymore to showcase to the world. So these are things that are limiting the Senegalese basketball league, and they should wake up. We are in a world of technology. You just need to sell your products very well, and the world will know it. We are seeing this from Rwanda. We've seen it from Egypt. We've seen it from other leagues. So they can't be restricting players. They can't be restricting content creators or trying to kill the project. No, it doesn't make sense. And yes, kudos to Lo Deng, who is doing massively well with South Sudan, both the men and the ladies. He has really invested much, and I think he's reaping a good result as of now. He should be happy for the good work he has done for South Sudan. Recently, we just saw them also participate at the South Sudan U18 men's team participate at the
Yeah.
qualifiers before this Afro Basket, and that's a good step. So we now know that he's just not focused on the senior team. He's trying to bring the grassroots as well. So with time, we're going to see a dominant South Sudan who is going to dominate across the world. South Sudan men's team are currently 24th when it comes to world ranking. The only African team to be in the top 30 world rankings. So this is a good fit. Kudos to him. We need to see more of this energy invested into the leagues. Yeah. That being said, I think we should focus now on our main topic for today, which is the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. which is going to start tomorrow. Teams are already in Senegal and in Tunisia where the events are going to take place. Quick one, what do you think about this window 4 whereby two groups splitted? And this is where everything goes down. So what do you think about this window 4?
Yeah, man. I think it's, of course, there is a lot of opportunity there, or because there's this window and the final window next year.
Mhm.
I think it's a lot. A lot of the teams have gotten they've roped in a lot of top talent for this window because they know
Yeah.
that, and they have to make them. This is probably the window where they have to make the most of it because you are not sure, you won't have your NBA players show up for next year, which is around February, because they'll
Mm,
be involved in the leagues.
yeah.
Maybe other leagues like EuroLeague will allow their players to,
Calm down. Yeah.
come next year. But this window is probably, for some teams, it's probably a make or break. A team like, yes, this is in the Tunisia group, where you have Guinea, you have Nigeria, you have Tunisia, you have
You have Cape Verde over
Cape
there. You've
Verde,
got Cameroon. You've got Cameroon there.
Cameroon, yes,
Yes.
which comes
The
at the
group.
top of the group. I think
Yes.
with Cameroon, it's a team that has always, maybe let's start with the country. We have seen in recent years players like Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, Christian
Mm,
Koloko, Ulrich Chomche, all being drafted into the NBA. Obviously, Koloko and Chomche are no longer there, but there's a great crop of talent coming from, or generation of player that has come from Cameroon, and it's time for them to reap the rewards of some of the talents that they have. A player like Missy is going to be present for them at this in this qualifying window. For Koloko has also been roped in to,
yeah.
show up the paint area. So this is a very strong Cameroon side with guys like Jordan Baye, Fabian Ateba, Samir Betcom also being part of that team. These are guys who played in last year's. This is the 2025 Afro Basket semi-final. They fell
Exactly.
short for losing to Angola, and they've done very well to get, top their group in in the earlier rounds of the qualifiers, and they've sit pretty. So it's just making sure that they really they really get the results that they need in this current window. And they will lean on a guy like Jeremiah Hill as well, who's a
Mm,
very good scorer, great facilitator as well. So a lot is, you know I think this is Cameroon's time this time around. They fell short in the 2023 qualifiers, but given the talent pool that's there right now, there's no reason. Failure is not an option, let me say. Yeah.
yeah.
And then we look at who's this Guinea as well. A surprise package for me, but then you look at some of the talent that they have. Guys like Suleiman Boom Jr. I don't, I don't know if Alpha Diallo had participated in
No, he's
any
not.
of the
He's not
qualifiers, but
coming. He's not coming
yeah,
actually.
no Alpha Diallo. But a guy like Sekou Doumbouya,
Lumbuya.
who was born in Guinea, played for France at junior level, but now showing up for Guinea again. It's very important. And, Shannon Evans, point guard as well. So they have a pretty strong team there. I think it's also a team that's matured. Also, there's been a change of coach as well. So we don't know
Mm-hmm.
how much of a raptor that will be, whether it could be negative, it could be positive. Only the results will tell how they do in this current window. Tunisia as well, I think they are third in the group. So they're a team in transition, but currently third. So they will do everything to try and hold on to that third position and maybe get
Mm.
some positive results. They still have guys like Firas Liani, Omar Abada,
But,
Joa Joadi, yeah, man, Osama Manawi. Yeah, they still have a very capable team, despite them being in transition, losing some of their greats like Murad El Mabruk, Radwan Slimani, Mokhtar Gyaza. So they've lost a good crop of players. They in a rebuild mode, but they've done well to, keep up and, maintain their position. Nigeria, they shouldn't be where they are. They should probably be a number one team in Africa, but, due to administrative issues, treatment of players, they've never lived up to expectation. Only one Afro basket title. When you compare it to the women's program, there's been a lot of continuity. While the men, there's been a high turnover of players. There hasn't been a consistent squad since they played in the 2017 Afro Basket. They've been, as I said, there's been a lot of issues there. But now the team that they have, a guy like Sten Okoye, who won the Afro Basket and has also played in the 2019 World Cup. Josh Okogi, he's represented the United States at youth level, but also now representing Nigeria. He's played in the FIBA World Cup in 2019, has also showed up for the team in the 2025 AfroBasket last year, and is with the team right now. So bringing in that NBA experience, Udoka Azubike, I think he also was drafted into the NBA, but now I think he plays in either Europe or Asia. So
Europe, yeah.
Chima Muneke playing in Europe, in EuroLeague. So this is a very strong Nigeria team. A guy like Caleb Agada, we saw him in the BAL last year as well, winning with El Ahly Tripoli. So as I say, man, it's a very strong Nigeria team. I think also with a coach like David Fisdale, new to the international scene, obviously an assistant with the Phoenix Suns, but new to this stage of basketball. I think the fact that they were able to get him was also attractive to some of the players, making them want to play for Nigeria. So we'll see if they can, get in their first round of matches, get some positive results with this group of players, and also a very high caliber coach in David Fisdale. And then we go to
South Sudan.
South Sudan. Oof. Yeah. Wow. I think Royal Ivy is also their coach there.
Yeah.
South Sudan, maybe they might be disappointed that they are where they are now, but I think there's all to play for them as well. Nunu Omot is back with them. He wasn't there in the last window. You are going to see guys like the
Joe is also back.
Yes. So it's just, so they'll probably compete. This group is probably a competitive group when you look at it. I mean, like, wow, it's, no, a loss. Teams can't afford a loss, let me say.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, man, I don't know. And then
and the interesting thing is they've got their point guard.
Yeah.
They've got their point guard back in the person of Jones.
Caleb Jones.
Back now. Caleb Jones is also back now. So it's a good news for them.
Yeah. So South Sudan, they were the surprise team, I guess, in qualifying for the World Cup in 2023, made it to the Olympics as well. And they are not a secret anymore. They're an open book. So teams are familiar with their players, the quality, and, teams have strengthened as well. So they've maybe experienced a bit of a come down to earth moment in the Afro basket last year, and also in these qualifiers. So Royal Ivy has a lot of work to do, but also they are in a good place, but also no team in these qualifiers can afford a loss, let me say. And then Cape, I think their run is over. I think right now it's just time for them to rebuild. Yes, they've got the Almeida brothers, Anderson Correa. I think Betinho Gomez might be back as well. They are still continuing with Manuel Trovada, who had surprisingly resigned after the quarterfinal loss against Angola in the Afro Basket. And, well, he's continued from. They've continued with him. So clearly there has been discussions with him. Maybe they were happy with the job he's doing. But I think for Cape Verde, they're a team that really needs to rebuild their program and, find a replacement for this current crop of players. Of course, the Almeida brothers, Joel, he's in his already 40. Ivan, he's in his late 30s. Betinho Gomez is already in his 40s as well. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think the team has reached its peak. And then, of course, going to the next group. This is Group F now.
Yeah.
This is Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali,
Wow,
Angola,
Mali,
Egypt, DRC. Yeah, man.
one
Wow.
crazy group.
Another tough group. Yeah. I think there's only man. Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, they are in a good place. I was in Senegal for those two qualifiers, and they've been the best performing teams. Of course, Senegal looked a bit jittery in the opening game against Cote d'Ivoire in their opening qualifier, but once Branco Badiou joined the team, they seemed a settled outfit. In the next window of the qualifiers, they just dominated. A strong team, a strong rebounding team, a strong defensive team. That's part of their identity. Set a record, I think, in July for the most blocks, I think 12. And also the defense is anchored by Ibu Baji, a guy with G League experience. I think he's currently out in China right now. So and then you've got Mustafa Diop as well. And also players like Babacar Sane, who else? A good scorer. They've got depth. Players like Karim Mane coming off the bench. Jean-Jacques Boissy also coming off the bench. He's come off an injury and he's shown flashes, but a lot will be expected for him at this in the stage when he comes off the bench to give that good production. But as long as with team captain Branco Badiou leading the way, top scorer, I think also a great facilitator as well. Senegal, in a good position, and also they are at home again for the third time. So, they will make their home court advantage count. And going to Cote d'Ivoire, of course, there's a lot of excitement with Pacom Dadier joining the team as well, an NBA champion, even though, he wasn't really much of a factor for the Knicks, but I guess he just brings that, puts eyes on the Ivory Coast team. His brother Maxence Dadier as well joins the team. Solo Diabate is also returning after some time off. So they will count on his experience, to help, steady the ship and help them, keep their momentum, And so they've also got solid, what's this front court as well. So, and also, I don't know if a player like Asimian Mulade will be with them.
Let me cross-check the roster quickly. So in the roster, they've got Solomon Diabate, they've got Jonathan Cisse, Ulrich Kra, Zuzo Nizre, Patrick Tape, Pakomi Diait, Jean-Philippe Dali. They've got David Gasod, Alexander Lombe, Simons Kobi, Musa Konate, Amadou Sedibe, Jean-François Kebi, Abubakar Traore, and Maxime.
Yes, Abubakar Traore, yes.
Yeah, that's their roster.
So, they've also roped in their best players for this phase of the competition. And, they also are a team that wants to make a statement, wanting to go to, their fourth World Cup, I think. And, with players like this, you are expecting that Cote d'Ivoire, will look to finish well in this, will look to finish this phase of the qualifiers well. And then you're going to Mali. Mali have been an exciting team of this of these qualifiers. We saw them do very well in the first phase of the first windows, first and second, the first and second window of the qualifiers. There's continuity with guys like Siriman Kanute, a very formidable point guard. I think one of the best we have on this continent as well. Great facilitator, scorer. And then those bigs, man, and now bringing in Adama Sanogo in the
Exactly.
interior to, he just adds more depth in that position
Mm-hmm.
where you have guys
Mm-hmm.
like Aludiara and Omar Balo already. So that's a very strong lineup. A guy like Mahamani Koulibaly, we saw him play for Urunani in Burundi and become a champion
Burundi,
with
yeah.
them. So he also brings, coming off the bench, he's going to give the team some quality minutes there. And, maybe, and obviously they're led by experienced Ibrahima Haidara. Yeah, very solid. Maybe a solid presence on the court can give you some good
Mm-hmm.
production in
Good
games,
rebounds, yeah.
but also, yeah, but he's just there for the steadiness. No Hassan Diarra, surprisingly, not sure why he's not part of the team this time around, but he seemed like he was a good fit in the games that he played in July. So they'll
Yeah.
probably, maybe the only challenge that they will have is probably depth in the point guard position. There, a lot will hinge on Siriman Kanute. I know Mamadou Keita is there as well, a veteran player who
Mm-hmm.
has played in Morocco and also played for, I think currently plays for Tumbuktu right now.
Yeah, he plays in Algeria. He's had a spell in Algeria. I
Oh,
don't
in
know if they
Algeria,
signed a
in
new.
Algeria. Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, they do have some experience within the setup. So they are those players that Al Haji Diko can lean on to make sure that they get the desired results. Obviously, a lot is expected of this Mali generation, given the run that they had in
They had
2019
enough. Yeah.
in the Under 19 World Cup, where they made it all the way to the final. So yes, having guys like Sanogo, Diarra, Omar Balo, and Siriman Kanute, those two are part of the team. Those two are part of that team, coached by Alhaji Diko
Mm.
in 2019. They're Drame brothers as well. So yes,
Yeah.
as I was saying, a lot is expected of this generation of Mali players. Going to Angola, very concerning that Bruno Fernando is not there. Very concerning that Silvio Souza is not there. Kevin Gogila are not there. But
Mm-hmm.
not sure why they are not part of the team as well. But there is experience. You can never count out Angola, as I always say. You can still count on guys like Dundao, Jason Gonçalves, Closio Castro. He's new onto the international scene. He will want to make a mark. Very undersized, big, but very athletic as well. Will be there for those put back dunks, those rebounds, So, but other than that, I'm not sure who they can rely on in the paint. I think this is a very limited Angola team going into these qualifiers. So,
Yeah.
yeah, one is very worried about them and yeah, how well they will perform in this phase. Egypt, I think an Asian team, a team that will probably be lucky if they make it into the World Cup. They could probably have Angola's number in this qualifiers given the lack of height, Angola's lack of height in the paint, where you have
Mm.
guys like Patrick Gardner, you have guys like Anas Mahmoud, who are very skilled big men and who can, shoot it from outside, inside. Ahmed Al Ghedi and, Ehab Amin. I mean, the list goes on with this Egyptian team, but, I think one thing you need to worry about with them is probably the age factor. And
Yeah.
last but not least, the DRC, I think
That's the
from what
last
we saw
actually.
in the AfroBasket qualifiers in 2025 and what we are seeing now, a lot of problems. I think one gets a sense that there are a lot of problems there. There were
Mm-hmm.
rumors that players were not paid their bonuses. That's why they didn't show up for the AfroBasket. Most of that group that had qualified so well for the AfroBasket, and you could see those performances in those poor performances have filtered into the qualifiers, only being able to beat Madagascar in the two windows. And, there's a lot for them to do. And, I don't think this DRC team right now, as things stand, will be as impactful as they were in 2025.
We can't take. I think for DRC, I think they've got something to prove as well with the likes of Damian Bosch joining the team, a new addition to the team. Let's see what he can bring. We know Damian Bosch for his assists, level of assists,
Yeah.
how much of a playmaker he is on a team. So I think this is going to be an exciting. You've said everything. You've said it all. And this qualifiers is going to be something exciting to watch. Lots of competition. Actually, South Sudan has released their list for the qualifiers, and they have
Yeah.
15 players on the list. They've got Khalid Jones, they've got Wenyan, Gabriel, TJ Tor, they've got Noni Omat, they've got back their one of their dominant
Oh,
player in
Mariel
the
Schwab.
in the person of Maria Shahi. Yeah, they've got Den Adele, they've got Budkak, they've got Kong Kong, they've got Kwat, they've got Mangok Matien, they've got Malit, Makar, they've got Ugak, they've got Majok Deng, they've got Peter Jog, they've got Jackson McCoy, and Lockwell. So they've got a team stacked of players. They've got a good team stacked of players. So I think we should expect something more from South Sudan. As you've said, you've summarized everything in one bit for us, and yeah. And also, before we even take our leave, congratulations to Reg women for retaining back their
Oh, yes,
dominance in the
yes.
Rwandan Basketball League. I just saw they've won the Rwanda Women Basketball League by they had to go through a tough route by beating APR in the semifinals, and now it was an easy run for them beating the Hoop, or is it the Hoop team? Yeah, so congratulations to APR and Washington and other players. So
Oh,
yeah, all
yes,
being
Delisha
said, I
Washington,
think
yeah.
basically Washington. So all being said, I think we've come to an end of this episode. It was exciting, and we wish all the teams heading to Tunisia and Senegal all the best. Go represent your country, put African basketball on the map as well, as we always preach. And yeah, we'll be following. Our updates will be given on this our various pages, the big tip off and the growing the game, whereby we give you daily updates on whatever is happening, and results, scores, and every news will be brought to you over there. Thank you, Manuelisa, for hopping on this episode once again. I think this time we started a bit late, but it's all good. Thank you once again.
No, thank you very much for having me, Kwaku. I appreciate it, man. And till the next episode, yeah, man. See you later.
Yeah,
Good night, and yes, see you guys later.
yeah. Thank you for watching this episode. To make sure you follow, like, subscribe to our channel, follow our pages on all social media platforms, and keep watching Growing the Game podcast. So the next time, bye.
Nah, cheers.